So what if the biggest moments in human history weren't random at all? I mean, what if they were actually following a hidden pattern? Some researchers are convinced that there's a numerical code, one that was embedded in the text of the Bible thousands of years ago, that's been shaping events ever since.
And that's really the big question we're diving into here. Is history just one chaotic thing after another, or is there some kind of underlying logic, almost like a mathematical formula, quietly guiding the whole story? Let's dig in and see what the theory says.
Okay, so how would a code like this even begin to work? Well, the core idea is that a few very specific numbers, which are pulled directly from the Bible's text, pop up at these crucial moments in history, and they do it so often that it seems to go way beyond just pure chance.
Now, to even wrap your head around this theory, you need a key. And that key is an ancient practice called gematria. You see, in languages like Biblical Hebrew and Greek, the letters of the alphabet also served as their numbers. This means every single word, every name, has a numerical value. It's like a hidden mathematical layer of meaning, sitting right there under the surface of the text.
According to the theory, this code isn't built on just any old numbers. Nope. It's built on a very specific set of numbers that allegedly form the foundation of pretty much everything.
So the first key number is 37. Proponents of this theory say it's absolutely foundational. And why 37? Well, geometrically, it's what's known as a star number. You can arrange 37 little dots or units into a perfect hexagram, a shape that has some really deep symbolic meaning. You know, think of the Star of David.
And the second key number is 73. Right away, you start to see a potential pattern emerge here, because 73 is also a star number. It's kind of the mathematical partner to 37. According to the source material, these two numbers, 37 and 73, almost always show up together, like a perfectly matched pair.
And the final piece of this foundational trio is the number 27. Now this one isn't a star, it's a perfect cube, 3 times 3 times 3. So there you have it. With just these three numbers, 37, 73, and 27, the theory claims we've got the basic building blocks, the prime integers of a code that actually shapes history itself.
So you might be asking, how do these abstract numbers supposedly leap out of ancient texts and into the real world? Well, the theory first points us to the genealogies of some early European kings.
The source points out this really fascinating sequence during the reigns of the Merovingian kings. Just look at this. Clothar II becomes king 73 years after Clothar I. Then, Clothar III becomes king exactly 73 years after that. And to top it all off, the year he dies, 673, ends in that exact same number. The argument here is that, yeah, a random pattern is one thing, but this kind of repetition, it just begs for a closer look.
All right, the next layer of this code supposedly involves one of the most famous figures in the entire Bible, King David.
Right there in the New Testament, in the Gospel of Matthew, the genealogy is explicitly built around the number 14. It's directly tied to David's lineage. So this isn't some hidden thing. It's stated right there in the text, telling us that 14 is a number with some serious biblical and historical weight.
But why 14? What's so special about it? This is where gematria gives us the answer. In Hebrew, the letters for the name David, Dalet, Vav, Dalet, have the numerical values 4, 6, and 4. You add them up, what do you get? 14. So the number isn't just symbolic of David. In a very real sense, the number is his name.
Okay, this is where the theory starts to get a little more complex. It takes David's number, 14, and it combines it with its numerical mirror, 41, then it connects them using one of our core numbers, 27, by pointing out that 14 plus 27 equals 41. The big claim is that this new cluster of numbers, 14, 41, 27, and 73, becomes a signature pattern, one supposedly woven all through the official histories of the Roman and Carolingian empires. This is especially true under Charlemagne, who actually called himself a New David.
And now, the theory takes its most startling leap. We're going from ancient kings all the way to the 21st century, arguing that this ancient code connects directly to the events of 9/11.
To even begin to understand this connection, we have to first look at the Jewish calendar. The 9th day of the 11th month, a month called Av, is historically a day of just profound tragedy. I mean, the destruction of both the First and the Second Temples, among other major national disasters, all happened to fall on this exact same date, the 9th of the 11th month, a historical 9/11.
Okay, now let's shift gears to the modern calendar we all use. In Germany, the date November 9th, which is often written as 9/11 in Europe, is known as the Schicksalstag, or the Day of Fate. And it's almost hard to believe, but 4 of the absolute most pivotal, world-changing moments in 20th century German history all happened on this one exact day.
For decades, historians like Fritz Stern looked at this and, understandably just dismissed it as pure random coincidence. But more recently, that thinking is starting to shift a bit. Authors like Wolfgang Brenner are now suggesting that there seems to be some kind of underground connection linking these events, almost as if they're echoing each other across time.
So what is that underground connection? Well, this is the theory's biggest claim. It argues it isn't just politics or historical cause and effect. It's the numerical Bible code that we've been looking at this whole time.
All right, so here's how the theory tries to connect all the dots. It starts the clock on November 9th. That's 9/11. All the way back in the year 9/11 with the crowning of the very first German king. It then claims this event kicks off a special historical period that ends centuries later with a decisive battle. Fought on, you guessed it, November 9th, 1313. The final piece of the puzzle, according to the source, is this little numerical echo. The date, November 9th, just so happens to be the 313th day of the year, perfectly mirroring the year that this supposed cycle ended, 1313.
And this brings us right back to the ultimate question. This theory weaves together numbers, names, and dates across thousands of years into what it claims is a single, coherent system. So are these profound, meaningful patterns, or are our brains just wired to find meaning in random coincidences? When you look at the grand story of history, what do you see? A random series of events, or a hidden code?